Hey, everybody, on this episode of Box Office Breakdown, Ant-Man and the Wasp stride like a Goliath to the top of the box office charts. We're going to break down that and more next.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk, we talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's Box Office Breakdown.
Hi, everybody. Hey. Look at that. We're all back together again. Well, except for one person, but we'll get into that in a moment. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Box Office Breakdown. Of course, this is the show where we look back at the box office that was, and then we like to... Like a well-oiled machine. There you go. I'm one of your hosts, Frank Moran.
I'm another one of your hosts, Amy Cassandra Martinez.
And it's me, the Neil Plumley.
And as always, making us look good and sound even better, Anthony in the booth.
Ayo, I hope I don't let you down today.
Never, Anthony.
Oh.
Will never, ever let me down.
Well, we'll
Right
see.
on. Oh,
No.
okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
Thanks,
Don't
Amy.
let me down.
Never going to break in
Don't
my
let me
stride.
down.
And, of course, the lovely and talented Carrie Lane, not with us this evening because she's been busy all weekend at Anime Expo here in in Los Angeles. Follow her on social media. She's been up to a lot of fun shenanigans this whole weekend over there. So,
She's been anime expoing.
patent pending
Neil.
from Amy Cassandra Martinez.
Yep.
But, you know, even though Carrie's away, the box office still rolls on, and we must talk about it.
Yep.
So we shall do so
We must.
right now. Coming in at number one for the top five was also the subject of this week's box office bet.
It was.
It was.
Ant-Man and the Wasp made 76, just a hair over 76 million. To find out the results of the box office bet, let's toss it over to Neil Plumley at the box office bet desk.
Doodle-doodle. Hey, it's me, the Neil Plumley. I'm here at the box office desk to break down our bets and how they all rolled out. Bumblebee comes out this summer. We bet on Ant-Man and the Wasp this weekend. It made
76 million.
$76 million. That's a hair shy of anything that any of us bet. We'll start with the loser, which was me, unfortunately, folks. I'm sorry to have let you down like this, but I bet $120 million for Ant-Man and the Wasp this weekend, and it just made
76 million.
$76 million. Coming in second to last place was none other than the woman to my right, Amy Cassandra Martinez, with $113 million bet.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We're live now.
I was a little late on that. My bad.
Breaking news.
Speaking of Tony, he comes in third to last, or halfway through our roster, with a bet of $110 million.
You know what they say about three? It's the magic number.
Thank you.
I've heard that before.
I have not.
Well,
Schoolhouse Rock.
write it down,
yeah.
and then you'll know it.
No, it's true. It's magic number.
Next, we have our second place winner, and this spot belongs to none other than our very own, our fearless leader, the one and only, the voice of Box Office Breakdown. It's Frank Moran.
Wow. Wow. So honored to be so close and yet so far from the press
So
ring.
screamingly far away from the actual bet. He
Yes.
bet $105 million.
That's right.
And the movie actually made
76 million.
$76 million. That's right, Frank. Thank you. And our winner this week is not here right now, but her name is Carrie D. Lane. You can find her in places where people are found at Carrie D. Lane. And she bet $82 million.
All right. Nicely
Great job,
done.
Carrie. Still a good $6 million off. But definitely not, 36 off like some of us.
You know what you should do, folks? You should actually congratulate Carrie Lane through social media. In fact, if you're going to get involved in social media, you know what you can do for this show is you can like us on Facebook, give us those 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel, give it a thumbs up while you're there, or 2, or 3, or 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, however many thumbs up you can do. And, of course, we've got the chat up, live, and running, so feel free to share your thoughts about movies in general or anything from this box office weekend in particular.
Get in there.
Get in there.
Get in the chat.
We're there right now.
Yeah. And so as we're talking about Ant-Man and the Wasp, we have all seen it.
Yep.
Many of you have seen it as well there in the chat. Neil Plumley, I'm going to toss it to you. What did you think, sir?
Listen, Frank, I saw this movie with my eyes today. And I was sitting in the theater watching it, and I was thinking to myself, this movie could be a little better. But that being said, I really enjoyed it. I had a great time. What I felt was the mood that they set up with the trailer was very punchy, but also very funny. This movie had a lot of funny, a lot of good, like, warm feelings. The plot moved okay, I thought. It was a little scrambled at parts, but it was okay. But it didn't have that, like, punchiness to it that I liked seeing in the trailer. But that being said, I liked how the villain was more of just like an adversary at the moment. And but I didn't like how it became that. I didn't like how it went from A to B. I liked B, I liked A, I didn't like the transition, basically. I loved the quantum realm. Let's do more of that. And when he was sitting there with the tardigrades swimming around, I don't know if you know, those are little microbiological creatures that live forever.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah, Alexis leans over, she's like, "What are those?" I'm like, "Those are tardigrades. They live forever.
They live forever.
They're immortal. They can survive in the vacuum of space. It's amazing."
They're actually vampires.
Yeah, it's a great. They're also called water bears. That's their street name, though.
Water bears. I like
WB.
Yeah, they're cool. WB, Warner Brother. But yeah, I thought the movie was. I thought it was good. Definitely liked the post-credit bits right there. Those were necessary, I thought.
Brutal.
Even the very, very, very end.
No.
That was a bit silly, but
no.
I dug the lead up to the silly. Like the stuff that you initially see. I'm not going to give anything away, of course, but
still laugh.
the stuff at the beginning of that last scene, I was like, cool, okay, what are we seeing here? And then they're just like, but basically,
Thank you,
turned it into a joke.
Amy Cassandra Martinez.
Yes.
Now will you finally share what you thought about this film?
Yes.
You were so cagey last week about it.
Yes.
Caged off.
Yes. I liked it a lot more than the first one. I honestly thought the first one was kind of like, kind of forgettable.
Meh. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I think I went into it like, well, whatever. It's Marvel. They're killing it. So I'm hoping this will be better. And I was pleasantly surprised. I did like it much more than the first one. I love the dynamics between everyone. I liked this is not a spoiler, like the relationships with, parents and children. We got a little bit of variations with that. Did love the quantum realm. Gorgeous. I think there were some funny parts and I'm like, okay, like you can be funny, but like, I don't know. Like some of them, it felt like it was at the cost of some of people's like intelligence, if that makes sense. And sometimes like I think they hit the right point. Like they didn't go too far. They could have even pushed it back a little bit. But yeah, that was nice. Michael Peña's cool. Cassie though? Cassie is amazing. I want to see her do more things. And yeah, there were certain parts where I was like, okay, let's just keep it going. And I agree. A and B were nice. The middle, okay. I wish we could have gotten a little bit more depth to that.
Yep.
And a little bit more, like the characters, there was a few that they kind of introduced them and they're just kind of like, here you go. And this is it. You're not going to get that much else. I could have used more. But then I'm also like, I don't want a longer movie, so.
I kind of do.
I don't know. I did. The ending was interesting. And the post-credits and all of that. But yeah, I definitely recommend it much more than I would have if I hadn't seen it, which makes sense. But like, if you didn't care too much about Ant-Man, you will like this one, I think. I think it's a safe bet because it's better. Maybe, I don't know, because of the Wasp. I'm just saying that she did a really good job and I liked seeing her fight.
No, that's true. She was a great addition to the cast. I mean, people have been clamoring for that, and she certainly had a lot to do in this one. I feel like when you see with Cassie, though, I think you see the possibilities for the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the future. To see something 10 years from now where you could easily do a kind of flip and have Paul Rudd in the Michael Douglas role, and then Cassie there kind of being the up-and-comer. Things that benefit with the kind of the real-time consequences of doing a film as opposed to in a comic book.
Right.
So it could be very cool to see that happen. And even Kevin Feige's said that is always possibilities. They're never going to say no to anything like that.
Well, and especially the last couple of weeks, it's just been lots of Kevin Feige news basically addressing everyone's, not concerns, but like rumors or like, is this going to happen? What about this? And he's like, okay, this is what's going to happen. No, we don't know this. There is a possibility of this. But I think that's what people want to hear, you know, especially with Marvel movies, that there's so much going on. It's like, okay, just like tell us what you can give us. We'll take it.
Yeah, there's, I mean, I feel like they kind of set a bad precedent for themselves with that big splashy press conference that they did several years ago where they announced their whole phase 3 slate. And it's like, wow, you're calling your shots really far in advance. Look at that's awesome. And since then, they've been really radio silent as opposed to it's getting into phase 4, just because they really want to focus on Captain Marvel and Avengers 4. So I feel like I kind of get frustrated with these interviews where they're always asking him and he's like, well, I'd rather you guys just focus on here. But Kevin, what about... Well, just if they want to just focus on this, then let them focus on it. And I'm sure as it comes around next May, we're going to be finding out plenty of stuff.
Yeah, well, I do know that Captain Marvel finished filming for sure, like as of 2-3 days ago. So I don't know if that got anyone else super pumped.
Oh yeah.
For me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because they always go back and do those reshoots anyway later on down the road. So it's like, all right, maybe that's fine.
But principal photography wrapping is a landmark still in the production.
I guess. I mean, that doesn't. I don't get excited by that. Like, oh wow, cool.
I do. Neil
What
does.
gets you excited about it?
What gets me excited? The fact that a huge step of it is done. And so now they get to tweak things and we're one step closer to seeing it.
Yeah, well, I mean, we know when the release date is, but it's nice to know that Marvel is also aware of it and actively working towards accomplishing that goal.
It's nice.
They're not like procrastinating, like somebody waiting for like their midterms. Like, oh my gosh, we got a movie coming out in March, guys. Hurry up, get something together.
Yeah, that means we're also. I mean, I know it's not likely that we're gonna get a trailer that soon, and that's what Kevin Feige said. But a girl can dream.
Can they?
A girl can dream.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Neil, I will say that I found like I kind of disagree, or maybe at least have a different opinion of the Ghost. My least favorite villains are villains that everything would be all right if somebody just asked. It's almost like the Three's Company thing. All these misunderstandings would be eliminated. Somebody would just ask, and that would solve it. So I feel like that's the kind of situation in this film. I was like, kind of deflated the villain for me.
Yeah, I felt like she had a lot at stake personally, but it's very hard to convey that because most of it was very internal. Mm-hmm. So with whatever pain she was in, like that whole aspect, it would probably make a lot more sense her motivation if we could feel the pain that she was feeling. But since we couldn't, we're sort of supposed to expect her to, act like she's always in pain while also being a badass, which was a little tough.
Well, it also puts in other characters' motivations as well. That they were, there's some baiting and switching going on with some members of the cast, and making me think like, well, why would you do this if you're trying to help this person? Wouldn't you just try to explore all opportunities to help this person? But alas, that was not to be. So, but what I will love, I say that I love, and Kevin Feige was saying that there might be a possibility of doing a full film like this, is just the de-aging that they do with Michael Douglas and Michelle Pfeiffer.
It was amazing.
It was great in the first Ant-Man, and man, it looks just amazing in here as well. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Although I feel like I do need to see, I want to go back and look at Lawrence Fishburne, late 80s, early 90s, just to double check, because his felt a little off to me by looking at that. I don't know if you guys felt
He wasn't wearing those round mirror glasses and leather trench coat from The Matrix. That's why.
Man, he had hair. I was used to saying it back
That's
then.
what it was,
sans hair.
Yeah.
But his seemed a little off. And I don't know. Maybe I need to go see some other photos then. But man, Michelle Pfeiffer and Michael Douglas. Oof. So with Captain Marvel, as you're saying, I mean, it's going to be a lot of Sam Jackson and Clark Gregg being de-aged a lot for that film. So they will be in there not just for little scenes, but potentially large chunks of the film. Mm-hmm. So that'll be cool to see how that works. Because I can't imagine that it cannot be cheap to do that. So I wonder if that's always been something that's kind of held them back as well.
Maybe.
But if you keep making these big money, this much money on these films, certainly may invest it if the story's worth telling.
Yeah.
Agree.
Something else I liked a lot was the addition of the FBI agent that was handling Scott Lang. I thought he was hilarious. That's just my type of humor right there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they followed the rules of 3, but I felt like I was getting a little repetitive with those visits. Like, all right.
Yeah.
It was getting a bit, but I love that last one so much.
That's true.
He was
the
like,
way it ends.
I'll see you soon. Oh, well, are we gonna? When are you gonna see me? Like, I'm just gonna see you. I'm gonna see you soon. I'll see you soon. Like we're gonna. Like
You
at a
wanna
grocery
get-
store? Or
You want to get some dinner sometime?
wanna get- I thought you were maybe inviting me to dinner. No, that wasn't inviting you to dinner. I was going to arrest you. Next time I see you, I'm going to arrest you. Oh, okay.
I gotta say, Paul.
Do you want to
Rudd-
get dinner?
I gotta say, Paul Rudd was his like ruddiest in this, like more in this film than in the previous one. I
Oh,
think 'cause,
man.
like they let him let loose a bit more with his comedic timing and his just like his comedic skill really shined through.
That karaoke bit reminded me so much of when he was jamming to Rush in "I Love You, Man,"
Yeah.
because he
Yeah.
did those like those little wiggles.
Yeah.
He's a hoot.
Now, this
Man.
film did better than the first Ant-Man film.
Yes.
But still, 76 million, not setting the world on fire.
No.
But still improved on the first one.
Yeah.
Do you feel like this is always going to be kind of more of a smaller scale success for Marvel? If they do Ant-Man 3, maybe even Ant-Man 4?
It depends. Maybe the director will switch to Taika Waititi and it'll make like 140.
I think someone said that there's something like not super threatening to the average viewer about learning about a man that can shrink. But hello, he can also get really big.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. And especially being called Ant-Man, the average viewer may be like, that's weird. But why?
I mean, I feel like with this film, I had less invested in it because it's a smaller stakes film.
Yeah.
And hey, it's a small character, got it. But it's not very similar to Spider-Man: Homecoming, where it's not fate of the world. It's a much more smaller scaled story.
Yeah, but I was really pumped for Spider-Man: Homecoming.
True, I feel like I was pumped for that because of my attachment to that character.
Yeah.
Even though I enjoy Ant-Man, Spider-Man, I've had a much more deeper attachment to. So another reason why I was really hyped for that one.
More people know Spider-Man. More people identify with Spider-Man than Ant-Man.
You don't know? Wait, do you identify with the Wasp?
Feeling waspy?
No.
Oh, I
Not
feel a
really.
little waspy.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Or not, I
Did
don't
you
know.
lose your mom in the quantum realm?
Yeah, don't bring it up.
Sorry.
Tony be Tony underscore.
I'm sorry. I take it
Quantum
back.
realm, it's a touchy subject, guys.
But I was just gonna say that in comparison to Spider-Man, Spider-Man's very attractive to like even people who don't care about him because he has all those like really fun acrobatics and everything, which is something that Ant-Man and the Wasp seriously brought to the table with their choreography, at least fighting wise, in this movie. Some of the fights were just like insane, and they blew by so fast, just because that's how they fight, and especially when they're fighting Ghost, who like phases in and out of things. Her strength is that you can't get really a direct hit on her, and they just use their shrinking and growing abilities in tandem with that. So like, no one's really landing a hit, but everyone's evading really well, and I was like, this is just a lot of fun to watch. I thought that was really cool.
No, it was. It is interesting for an Ant-Man and the Wasp film. They very rarely, hardly ever, actually have a scene together where they're fighting. It's like they're usually just kind of off doing their own separate things, but still really cool though, nonetheless.
Yeah,
And the credit sequence, I really like that. They made little small, little miniatures.
little toy figures.
Yes,
Yeah.
I thought that was great. Although I felt like with the Michelle Pfeiffer one, they really all right, let's make sure this one's got to be really good. Because I felt like everybody else is like Walter Goggins, who's like, it's all right. We kind of get it's Walter
Yeah.
Goggins, but Michelle Pfeiffer, it was like, okay, yep, we got it. This is Michelle Pfeiffer.
And
Spot on.
I'm calling it now. Michelle Pfeiffer, like Quantum Realm Wasp cosplay for Comic-Con.
You gonna be doing that?
No, I'm calling it.
Oh.
Like with like half armor and like that staff thing she had on her back and
Gosh, but that's really warm.
the cloak. It's gonna. I'm telling you, it's gonna
I'm just
happen.
thinking, like, oi. But yeah, no, that'd be really cool.
It's gonna happen for sure.
All right, so folks in the chat or on Twitter, feel free if you want to tweet either Amy or Carrie and decide which one of them you want to see cosplay as Janet Van Dyne. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
all right.
well, that's expensive too.
There you go.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right, coming in at number 2, the box office, The Incredibles brings in $29 million.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da.
Jurassic World: The Fallen Kingdom, 28.5. The First Purge, 17.1, and Sicario.
Sorry,
First Purge.
I saw the purge.
Oh, really, Anthony? Well, we have to move on, so we can't talk about those things.
That's fine.
No, feel free. Share your thoughts, Anthony.
Okay, well, this is like the first purge I've actually seen that I paid attention to. I seen the first one, but it was like in the background. So I was guessing that's the best, but this was by far not that great of a movie. Yeah, it just wasn't good. I'll just leave it at that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So everybody should see it on your recommendation.
That's what he's saying.
Definitely.
That's what it
Yeah.
seems like one of the strongest recommendations Tony's ever given on the show.
Yeah, there's a lot of setups that just didn't pay off, and that were just turned out to be really lame. And but yeah, definitely not worth the time or the money. I would say totally skip it.
Boo.
Did you go back
Good
and
to
ask for your
know,
money?
though.
I would have,
But
but I didn't.
all right. And rounding out our top 5, Sicario Day of the Soldado.
You're so
Made,
good at that.
yeah, made another 7.3. I did finally get a chance to see this. Neil,
I have
you
not
it
seen
yet?
it.
Oh, give it to me, Frank.
It was, gosh, it was fine. It was.
It's okay.
I feel like I liked the first one better. Yeah, and we talked about this a little bit last week, where you can kind of see where they're trying to make it more of a franchise, and so you kind of felt like, all right, you're setting some stuff up here. It does seem weird. Halfway through the film, all of a sudden people act a little differently than you've known them through the first film and even the first half of this film. And you're like, okay, this seems a little unusual, and then it feels like, all right, because you're trying to get a third film out of this.
Right.
So, but
Kinda
I
like-
mean, performances are great. It's just the story. I felt I wish they would have just been as kind of ruthless and uncompromising as they were in the first film with this one, instead of trying to tee something up for a third.
So it's kind of like the Dead Man's Chest syndrome.
Yeah,
How it wasn't really a movie. It was just sort of like a elongated setup prequel to whatever they wanted to get done in the next one.
Yeah, I heard it's like a placeholder film in a sense.
That's a bummer.
but it's like setting stuff up, but then also trying to figure out like, well, what is also the setup? Because there are some. I mean, people are. Yeah, when you're dealing with any kind of government kind of operation, some people, you cut your operatives, things like that. But I don't know if they're trying to make the third one to be like somebody's coming to seek revenge, but also like, well, who are they seeking revenge on? Because that's just the business in this world that you're in. So I don't know exactly what the third film will be about. I mean, I guess I'll see it, but I'm not like stoked. Like, yeah, give me Sicario Day of the Soldado Jr. Whatever. I don't know what that's going to be.
Junior.
I do want to add a little quick thing about Uncle Drew.
Oh, can't get enough talking about this film, Amy Cassandra.
Well, there's
Praise
a
be.
follow-up, guys. Someone did message
Rebound.
me. No, what is it? Layup?
No, it's a rebound.
No, but that's like if it goes and then you grab it, but like there.
Yeah, it's
I
went.
know, but that's not what it's fine. Okay, so yeah, someone messaged me on Instagram, and it was Brendan Castens, and he said this was July 4th, so Wednesday. Waited until today to see Uncle Drew in hopes of helping your box office bet. While it didn't really help, at least I got to see trailers and had audio at the beginning. Glad that it worked out better for you guys. But funny, also, MoviePass sent me an email asking me to like let them know what I thought of Uncle Drew, and I was like, I don't think you want me to do that.
Oh,
Yeah. So I haven't answered yet, but
Okay.
I just wanted to tell you guys.
all right. Well, speaking of
Okay.
MoviePass, as we talked last week, I did join the AMC A list.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So far, it's been working great. Saw 2 movies last week, and I'm sure I'll see 3 probably this week, maybe. Who knows?
Nice.
But very easy, just making that reservation, and you're good to go.
You can do it online, right?
Yep.
Does it
everything-
include seat reservation?
Yes.
Wow. Not sponsored, but wow.
Yeah,
Wait,
which is nice.
With an increased price or just as is?
As is. So you pay that $19.95 a month, and you can see 3 films a week for any
Jeez, but
of
that's
the.
a lot.
Yeah, but if you're still seeing movies a lot, it's still not a bad deal.
Yeah.
Even if you're only
especially
seeing
in
one
LA.
a week, that's
And at
great.
least at least on the stock market, AMC is more sound than MoviePass
Yeah.
is. MoviePass is cheaper, but they're also cheaper.
Now, AMC is guaranteed that this price at least will stay for the first year. So, I mean, the door is open for them to jack up the price a year from now. We'll see if that actually happens or not, and how much they could jack it up and still want to keep people intrigued and interested in the product.
Right.
So we'll see. But for right now, for $20, I can see potentially 12 films.
Yeah.
So
I think one of the most clever things that they're doing actually is their lines for ticket sales and concessions. 'Cause now they have a separate line for A-list subscribers, and it's basically like a front of the line pass. So if there's a lot of people at concessions, you can just get, if you're an A-list subscriber, just get into the A line, and then they're like, next A-list, and then there's like, oh, that's me.
And then you come up with your cocky walk, like,
Yeah.
eat it,
Oh.
eat it.
Hello.
It's a little shifty, but it's sound. It's like sound advertising because it's these yellow bands that they have to like block off that aisle, and it looks really shiny and nice. They have these big signs like A-list this way.
They should have a little red carpet.
That's true. And they should also, as they ask for the next person to come up, turn on spotlights that track you up and make it like a big thing. Play like a little
Yeah.
Oscar, like going up to accept the board music.
I actually
Thank you.
saw someone in line in the regular line, the uncool line for concessions. I saw a gentleman not really paying attention, and this person said like next A-list, and he thought she was talking to him, so he started just sort of ambling up while this other group was also walking up from the A-list. She's like, "Sir, sorry, I meant the A-list. You have to go back into line." And he did not understand. He was like, "I'm next in line." She's like, "No, we meant the A-list. You have to go back to
Oh my
the line." And she's dead ass sent him back to his line where he had to be. And I'm like, that is how you sell that subscription. That's how you do it. You humiliate a person. He's not going to buy it, but everyone else watching is now more inclined.
You are less than.
Sorry, dude.
So, international numbers. Ant-Man and the Wasp took flight in 41 offshore markets and brought in $85 million for its effort. It's actually 45% ahead of the first film and landed above industry expectations, despite the lack of key markets early in the mix. So right now it's blacked out in China for the summer, so it's not going to do that, and it's slowly rolling out to Japan and a few other markets as well too. So far in Latin America and in part of the Asia markets, it's still kicking some butt. It's coming in above 51% above Ant-Man in China alone, and it is number 1 in all releases save New Zealand.
Nice.
Look at that. Disney's Kathleen Taffy, who's the head of marketing strategy, says the size of the first one is spectacular, but not surprising because Marvel has such affinity in the markets. And you were even mentioning, Neil, that this is its 20th film and the number 1 in the box office.
Yeah, this Marvel's Ant-Man and the Wasp is Marvel's 20th film, opening at number 1.
So they definitely have a recipe for success.
Yeah, and they don't have very many more than 20 films. I think it's like 21 at this point, isn't it? Wasn't Avengers
Wonder which
20th
one.
and this is 21st?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably The Dark World.
Oh, wah.
That's a guess.
But still, I mean, that is a great track record. To
Oh,
be
yeah.
going for this long and still doing that well in the box office.
Crushing it.
Yeah. They've not had any huge major stumble yet.
Nope.
Nope.
And are we keying that mostly to Kevin Feige kind of being the leader of this SS Marvel Cinematic Universe?
I believe so. Well, he basically invented this type of cinematic storytelling. This like not even just sequels, but just like a multi-layered sequence of events that's planned out years ahead of time. He basically invented it. No one had done that before.
True. And I feel like anybody that's now trying to do that, I think the mistake is they try to rush everything too quickly.
Exactly. Example, DC.
Or even Universal's Dark
Exactly.
Universe.
They're trying to get where Marvel is right now.
Yes.
What's interesting though is that there were some rumors. I don't know if it's true or not, but I know everyone loves rumors that Feige, after maybe at the end of Phase 3, which ends with Avengers 4 next May, was thinking about putting up his hat, or not putting up his hat, taking off his hat from the Marvel hat rack and going shopping himself somewhere else. And if that's true, which I don't think it is, but it's fun to think about these things. If it is, I think that Warner Brothers would just pay him whatever he wants to do what he did at Marvel over at DC.
True. But also I think like any studio's got to realize that if you're going to get him, it's also going to be a slow burn as well too.
Yeah, well, I mean that's what they need.
Yeah.
Right now they're all just very impatient. I think that after the many stumbles that that DCEU has had, pretty much every movie they made except just Wonder Woman, that's been in the DCEU has been a stumble. So I think maybe they're desperate enough to be like, listen, just do what you do. Just take it and do it. Tell us what it is, and then we'll just cut you a check.
Quick little correction. Someone in the chat, Starfire XXX, said that Ant-Man and the Wasp is the 20th film.
Oh.
So Infinity War was the 19th. So dang.
So they've never not had a number one movie.
Hashtag
Look at that.
me.
Look at that.
So do you think right now for Kevin Feige that 20 films in, still all number one, do you think the pressure is more or less for him at this point in terms of continuing to deliver?
I feel like he knows what he's doing. So it's like riding a bike. Like maybe after the first 5, it's just like, okay, all right. I kind of know. I mean, they're all slightly different in their own way, but there's got to be a certain kind of formula that he understands and he gets. And now it's just like, no, this is my job, man.
Yeah,
That's it.
I agree.
Yeah, in that sense, because to follow up what you were saying, Neil, like if he's thinking about kind of saying goodbye to Marvel, if that was even the case, is it just like, oh, I feel like I kind of done what I need to accomplish here, and there's really nothing else that I can do to top myself, so I may as well go somewhere else and just see what I can do for that slate of productions over there.
It also could be, it might be like he introduced one of the biggest storylines he actually introduced the largest storyline in cinematic history, if you count all the movies. But in the Marvel like comic books, he introduced one of the biggest storylines that they've ever written. Actually, 2 of them, Civil War and the Infinity War. Almost back to back. Not really, but like very close to one another. They didn't even give you really time to breathe. You're still feeling the effects of the Civil War during the Infinity War. They're so close together. So I think maybe he might, since he's already sort of shown everyone these great big events in Marvel history, he might be acting, if he does want to move, maybe he's at an act of a little bit of security. Maybe he's like, well, they can kind of only go downhill from here, so let me leave. Do something big over at DC. Leave. At that time, Dark Horse will have a studio. Do something there with Hellboy.
All right. So, folks, we've got, of course, Ant-Man and the Wasp was the subject of last week's box office bet. All props to Carrie Lane for winning that again. But we don't stop with the box office bets. They keep coming.
They do.
You may be on top one weekend. You could be at the bottom, having to go see, Uncle Drew at a movie theater near you. Look at Amy Cassidy. Amy's face right there. Look at that. Look at that face.
She did it.
So we have 2 films this week vying for your hard-earned votes there in the chat. That is Hotel Transylvania 3, Summer Vacation, which I've seen. It's fine. And Skyscraper, the new Dwayne The Rock Johnson action joint.
It's fine.
Dwayne The Rock Die Hard.
That's right. Yes. Coming out from Universal. So those are the 2 films that are vying for your vote. Feel free to hop in the chat and do that. But in the meantime, we will do a little quick box office rewind of somebody in one of these films. And we'll Andy Samberg, one of the voices in Hotel Transylvania. We'll do his top 5 live action ones. And coming in number 5, Pop Star, Never Stop, Never Stopping.
Don't ever stop stopping.
4.6 million back in 2016. Mm-hmm. I have that, and I have not made it through it.
Really?
Yeah.
I freaking loved it. And I don't even like Andy Samberg that much.
I haven't seen it.
It's good. It's surprisingly good.
Number 4, Hot Rod from Paramount back in 2007.
Oh, my God.
5.3. Oh, Anthony, big Hot Rod fan.
I saw this movie in theaters when it came out. Me and my friend were busting our asses laughing when he's just rolling down that side of the mountain. Mm-hmm. Oh, and it just kept going. It's so good.
He's in that punch dancing, and then
yeah, and then he just like.
That was pretty funny.
Number 3, What's Your Number from Fox back in 2011? 5.4.
I don't even know what that movie
It's
is.
a rom-com, guys.
What's that movie?
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Ooh,
Whoa.
Amy hasn't seen it.
Stop the presses. Hold the phone.
Oh, I did have
Beep, beep, beep.
Andy
Breaking.
Samberg on it.
And it
Breaking
had
news.
Reese Witherspoon, right? So that's why you didn't see
No
it?
Reese Witherspoon.
was Reese
Anna Faris,
Witherspoon.
as far as I remember.
All right.
Anna Faris.
Whoa.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was overboard?
Stop it.
All right.
Oh.
Get
There you
out
go.
of here. Get out.
Right. But what
Sorry,
about
went really loud.
what about the House Bunny?
Oh, boy.
I enjoyed that.
That was... I think I
enjoyed
had it on in the background. And I was like,
Yeah.
Great.
She was pretty hot in that. Not gonna
Please,
lie.
Just Friends. Ooh.
Oh, I love Just Friends.
It's good, but but then that means that she did a good job because
She's
I
great in
hated her
that.
character.
Yeah,
she was
she's
so
so
freaking
annoying.
Somebody, please Photoshop us a poster from the House Bunny with Amy's pull quote on there. I think I had it on in the background. So that would be great.
I think I did.
Number 2, That's My Boy from 2012. 13.4. That's a
Hell
rough
no.
movie. That is a
Hell
rough
no.
movie.
Didn't even try for that.
I don't even remember that.
That's
Nope.
Adam Sandler.
Oh.
Oof.
Andy Samberg.
Oh,
Thinking about it makes me
no.
cringe.
Well, he's
Yeah.
what made it bad.
For
sure.
I bet it's better than Jack and Jill.
A lot of things are better than Jack and Jill.
I just want to know how they got Al Pacino in Jack and Jill. That will always stymie me. Like, what was going on? And coming number 1, I Love You, Man. Oh, look at that.
That's the best one.
2009.
I just rewatched
17.8.
it because of Paul Rudd.
Look at that.
And yeah.
But then you really focus on the Andy Samberg parts.
No, I did not. I
that's
never
weird.
do.
All right.
But yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, before we do our box office bet, make sure you're voting away there in the chat for either Hotel Transylvania, it's fine, or Skyscraper.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. But in the meantime, we'll do our top 5 for next week, our projections for that. Now,
Yeah,
Hotel
dude.
Transylvania 3 on 4,000 screens. It's fine. And Skyscraper is on 3,700. Do you see either of those taking number 1, or Ant-Man and the Wasp will still ride high for another week?
Think they'll still ride high for another week.
All right.
I don't think so.
Oh.
Really?
I think Skyscraper will take number 1.
No, I was thinking Hotel, but you might be right.
I don't think Hotel could take number 1. I could see it taking. Well, I don't know. It's the 3rd time in the franchise, and it's not. I think it'll do solid, but it won't be do spectacular. I could see that easily coming in at number 3.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. Because what are we looking at Ant-Man if it has a decent drop, about 35, 37?
Yeah.
But it was also a holiday weekend. Kind of.
So that
Sort of.
should work to its favor, though.
Well, I don't think so.
I mean, it's a heat wave. Everybody wants to. Well, at least
But
in
a
LA.
lot of people were in the pool, not in the theaters.
Not in the cool AC of a movie theater.
No, I know.
We got cool ACs.
That's right.
Hashtag cool ACs.
All right. So, Neil? Are you then going with Skyscraper's number 1?
I am. I'll do Skyscraper, Ant-Man, Transylvania, Incredibles, and I guess Jurassic World, yeah.
All right. Amy.
I say Ant-Man, Skyscraper, what is it? Hotel Transylvania 3.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Incredibles and Jurassic World.
I mean, this has been the first time in a while that Dwayne Johnson's kind of been in something that is not based on an already existing property.
Right.
Well,
except for Die Hard.
Yeah.
Pardon?
Except for Die Hard.
Well, true, but I mean, it's not Baywatch.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah,
your
yeah, yeah,
Jumanji. So this is basically an original concept that is certainly inspired by many other films in the past, but not a sequel to any other pre-existing franchise.
True.
So for that, do you think Dwayne Johnson carrying it solo does he benefit from having some attachment to an already existing franchise? Does that help juice the box office numbers? Or it doesn't matter, Dwayne Johnson, regardless, people want to come to see him specifically no matter what the project?
I mean, I think it's strong. I think Jumanji, the movie itself, wouldn't have done as well
Yeah.
if it was a different title. And it was just like Dwayne Johnson leading it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, so I think you're right. I think you're right in both ways. I think it not being part of a major franchise is definitely probably a little debilitating to the numbers it can bring in this coming up weekend. However, Dwayne Johnson is a huge star, and he's a huge household name. Everyone loves him.
Mm-hmm.
It's lovable. He works a lot, and everyone sees him in movies.
Oh, there you go.
So I think it'll still do well just on his name alone. Not quite as well as it would if it was just called Die Hard Generations or something.
Better than Die Hard 5. That's a rough watch.
Praise be.
They hang out in a radioactive wasteland and nothing ever happens to them. Good times. Amy, so you're going with number 1, Ant-Man and the Wasp, number 2, Skyscraper, number 3, Hotel Transylvania?
Yes.
All right. Are you just following down the list as well?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know. I just have hopes for Ant-Man, but it's probably, I don't know. Just wanted to keep buzzing.
All right.
Keep the buzz going.
Okay. Well, no, I mean, San Andreas, which opened up back in 2015, that did $54.5 million its opening weekend. And Central Intelligence, that also has Kevin Hart as well, so that has its fans. But that only did $35 million, although it was opening up not quite, that one in, June of 2016. So.
Well, also the trailers, like the movie's actually kind of good. The trailers didn't do it justice.
All right. I will go with just because I want to love Ant-Man and the Wasp. Even though I love my Dwayne Johnson, I want to at least see one more week for Ant-Man and the Wasp.
It's nice to have you here.
I hope it turns out like that.
All right, there we go.
Yeah.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, it is time for us to do a rapid round of the box office bet. We'll look to the chat, see who's got the most votes, whether it's Hotel Transylvania 3, it's fine, or Skyscraper. And what we'll do is we'll bet whoever gets closest to the actual box office opening total will be the prognosticator prognosticators. The loser will be like Amy and have to see Uncle Drew in the movie theater.
You know.
I see.
Bad.
I see. Ken Jack has the tally at 3-2 for Hotel Transylvania.
It's fine. So there you go. Yes.
If that's what we're going with.
I guess we're going with Hotel Transylvania 3, everybody.
I'm trying this thing where I don't let my emotions show about how I feel about some of these movies, but
Go
Star
ahead.
Drew still read me. Dang it. It's fine. It's fine. It's not
fine.
Uncle Drew. I can do this.
Hotel Transylvania, the first one made 42.5. The second made 48.4 million.
Oh.
So, let's see. Both came out, though, in September. So, late September, closer to Halloween.
Well, this is the summer vacation.
That's true, so it makes sense. You got to have it in the summer. All right. I'm going to go. Anthony, do you have a number yet, sir?
Yes. Okay. So I've totally been thinking about this for the past minute.
Wow. Right.
I'll go with 35 mil. Sure.
All right.
35 mil. Okay. I'm sitting here with the meaning of life, the universe, and everything. 42 million.
Oh, nice.
49?
Ooh, I love it. Amy swinging for the fences.
Stop, Frank,
I
no!
love that.
You must really have a lot of faith in these movies.
No, but the way you just it got so much better. Yes, it was in September, but people are out of school. Kids want their movies. Dang it, Frank. What is your number?
Amy,
Stop.
big swing.
Whatever.
Martinez.
Thanks.
Love it. Love it.
Amy for the fences, Martinez.
I went 38.
You know, I should have just gone with my first freaking number. Amy, dang it. Whatever.
What was your first
It's
number?
fine.
Don't you
can't
go? Don't you have a first and you go to your second, then you go to
And
your
then I
first?
go back to my first. I know. I should just trust my instincts. It was like 39, I think it was. And then I went to 42, and then like 35. And
I love it. No, look at that. You
Whatever.
swung big.
Whatever.
Do not apologize for that.
Aiming for the fences.
Love it.
Aiming for
Boom.
the fence.
Yeah. Speaking of aiming for the fences, folks, the ball that is Box Office Breakdown is quickly going over that fence line. And it looks like it's not going to get caught. So this is going to be a home run of a show, as always. So we're going to wrap this up. But as always, like us on Facebook. Give us those 5 stars on iTunes. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Give it a thumbs up while you're there. Or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And thanks everybody for hopping in the chat and picking Hotel Transylvania 3.
Thank you.
Stop it.
Thank you. Thank you for doing that.
Amy, thanks you so much for that as well.
Is
Gotta
it
be
worth going
better.
back and watching the other two?
It's gonna be great.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
I'm going to miss everything, aren't I?
Cinematic masterpieces.
Yeah.
Those two.
It's a trilogy.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a saga now.
Anthony, you really should
It's a
go watch the
saga.
first 2.
It's
Yeah.
a saga.
I want you fully invested before you go see this third film. But if you want to stay in touch with any of us, even after the show's over, Anthony, where can they find you, sir?
You can find me everywhere at TonyBTony_. My name's appearing right there on the screen, so go and find that. Yes, I said it, Amy. Whatever.
know.
Whatever, Amy.
It's fine. Say it.
What a fancy boy.
At TonyBTony_.
Well, if you guys want to talk to me after the show, not sure why you would, but if you do, you can find me at places where people are found. At the Neil Plumley, that's TheNeilPlumley. Amy.
That is me. Thank you for
welcome.
that nice toss. Yes, I am Amy Cassandra Martinez, and you guys can find me on all social media at Amy Cassandra M2Z. Thanks. I love that, guys. Thank you. Really appreciate your support. But
Mine
yes,
wasn't sincere, though.
well, I'm just gonna pretend
mine
it is.
was.
Thank you. But yes, feel free to follow me, subscribe, all that jazz, and stay inside. You know, don't leave your house. I'm sure you could use some time, just Netflix and chilling. Just saying.
Oh, look at that. Follow Carrie D. Lane and see what shenanigans she got up to at Anime Expo this past weekend on Twitter and Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And follow me at Happy Go Jackie. And everybody, do yourself a favor.
Nope,
Go
nope.
see.
I I just need a cough.
Why are you telling them to not go? You want them to go so you win.
Oh wait, that's true.
You blew it! You blew it!
Ah, you loser! You're gonna lose, yo. You're gonna lose.
It's whatever.
Nailed it.
They don't listen to me. It's okay.
Nailed it.
Dang it! I'm so stupid.
All right, everybody, follow Amy's words to the letter,
Go
and we'll see you back.
outside.
Stay indoors.
Go. Treat yourself.
Yeah, we'll see you back here next Sunday night for another episode of Box Office Breakdown,
it.
right here on Popcorn Talk.
Oh my
Bye, everybody.
goodness.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.